Good morning this afternoon or evening. Blue galactic storms. What's happening here? We're guided today by the blue night, and we're in the wave spell of the yellow human. Should I start us off with that melody? I feel like doing that. I'm not going to do that every day, or maybe I will. Should I read it? Should I play it and then read it? You fast forward. I don't know. Did anybody enjoy me reading that? Well, I got no complaints. Did I enjoy reading that? Absolutely. So will I read it? I think so. Okay, let's play it. We have a keyboard in the house. I should like to play them all as a chord. The notes are Do, La, Sol, Do plus, that's a higher one I guess, La, Do, La, Do, La. Eh? Interesting. Okay. Ha. Right, time matrix. Where are we at with that? What is that time matrix? The time matrix, I'm going to play it and read it. Smell establishes the radial sense core matrix in the third dimension of external time, cosmic synchronization in the second mental sphere of the subconscious. By the way, I love this app. You only get access to this in the paid version, so if you're into it, get it. It's well worth it. The second note, sync matrix. The 27th magnitude sublimates the external flow of hyperplasmic space in the 8th dimension of lower radial time in the 7th mental sphere of the radiosonic realization of consciousness. You got that right. I love it. I love it. I have no idea what it means. It doesn't matter. We're listening to the space matrix. One more time. The 10th magnitude sublimates the extrasensory perception circuit of the 6th dimension in the 2nd dimension of external time, cosmic ascension in the 4th mental sphere of the continuous conscious. Now, master coordination frequency. The 21st magnitude activates the external flow of hyperplasmic space in the 8th dimension of lower radial time in the 7th mental sphere of the radiosonic realization of consciousness. My body is saying, you sat like this yesterday for too long. I did not like it. Are you listening to me or not? The whole morning, it never let me know this vertebra in my sacral, not sacral, in my solar plexus. I thought I had sorted it. Now I'm back to, what is this happening here? Are we still recording? We are. Oh, white mode. Okay, interesting. Let's continue. Heptal door. Rune 90. The whole of galactic art is defined by time. Yesterday we had a rune about something, art, mirror. We had, why is the art here? Heptal door. Wait a second. I'm looking at the telectonon. What the fuck? Holomate. This is the holomental perceiver. This is the base. Base matrix. Time matrix. Sync matrix. Oh, I get it. They have images for that. Space matrix. Okay, wait. Let's continue here. We'll get back there. The rune. The whole of galactic art is defined by time. Rune 90. Establishes the fourth octave of the whole of galactic art in the ninth dimension of inner time, in the seventh mental sphere of the radiosonic radialization of consciousness. Something tells me the words and these notes are acting like tuning forks. We do not need to understand them. The chrono psi, the psi chrono, the master coordinator unit of the hyperplasmic parton of the chemio hyperparton cell, light of the inner heat, coordinates the fourth quadrant, beta beta, of the external flow of hyperplasmic space in the ninth dimension of inner time, in the seventh mental sphere of the radiosonic radialization of consciousness. Just so you get it again. Damn. The equivalent kin, which today is the spectral wizard. Dissolving in order to enchant, releasing receptivity, sealing the exit of timelessness with a spectral tone of liberation, guided by my own power doubled. I'm a galactic portal, enter me. The equivalent kin, tune, and words are mixed tune, just the note. The cosmic, it's a rune again, 67, 76. The cosmic creation command illuminates the firmament. This establishes the second octave of the cosmic fire tree in the eighth dimension of lower radial time, in the seventh mental sphere of the radiosonic realization of consciousness. This is the last day I'm reading all of this. Something tells me I'm hearing you saying like, oh God, Tatjana, please can you just stop it? Last one. No, not yet. 2 more to go. Hang in there. MBU harmonic frequency. Don't know what that is. You are rune 85. The whole of galactic life channels time. This establishes the third octave of the whole of galactic life in the seventh dimension of upper radial time, in the seventh mental sphere of the radiosonic realization of consciousness, in the fifth field of GM108X, in the force field of GM108X. And then last, equivalent kin harmonic frequency. Do we know anything about that? The fifth magnitude sublimates the Dumkuali thermal force field in the fifth dimension of right radial time, in the fifth mental sphere of the superconscious, in the force field of middle station AA. There you go. Now, here are images, the base matrix. Okay, it's that same, but something is missing there. Yellow. It's not exactly the same, is it? No idea. Gotta study this someday. My goodness. All right. Where are we today? Storming away. We're reminded. Let's say we are reminded. I am reminded. This tone 8, galactic, harmonized model integrity. We are pulsing today with tone 4 and tone 12 in the time, life, sense, and mind What is the fourth? Hold on. Mind form. Mind form. That's very interesting because, what am I doing? That's very interesting. Sorry, excuse the rustling. Wait. No. This is going to be, wait, I just got to take off this jacket. I think this is ridiculous. Oh God, where are we at? I might have to edit this. Oops, 10 minutes, 34. This pulsing here today is Eagle Storm, Electric Eagle, the storm today, and the crystalline night. How interesting that the galactic tone is always guided by the night, right? By the 8th. This guy is guided by the dog. Yeah, it's always guided by tone 12. Fun. Am I unfocused? Okay, focus a little bit. That's harmonize model integrity. So for me, that tone 8 is always a reference back to the last wave spell for starters, because it's always the seal of the last wave spell, which means, to me, it's a reminder. Are we in integrity? Are we in harmony? Are we doing as we said we would be doing? Are we following the intentions? Are we true to our cause? Are we staying the course? Huh? Yeah. And a reminder, like, what are we forgetting ourselves? Are we forgetting things? Are we forgetting what we wanted? Much like New Year's resolutions are soon forgotten. So it's like, okay, we're there. What happened in the storm? And an honor of the past, and an honor, and we can, link ourselves today to the past in as much as we can link ourselves, or we can always link ourselves to the future at the same time. How does this link us to the past? Wait a minute, we have this wind here on tone 6. And this is the wave spell of the earth, our navigation. Remember? We're in the wave spell of the yellow human. We're exploring like the wave function of the human, of free will, of wisdom, of influence, our influence, human influence, and what influences us. And underneath this wave is the wave of the earth, of navigation, evolving, synchronicity. And we've come out of the wave spell of the blue storm today, auto-generate, catalyze energy, catalyzing energy for evolution, catalyzing energy for future, catalyzing energy for life, for healing, guided by the blue night today, catalyzing energy for dreaming. Everything we dream, we put into the dream field so that someday or somewhere this can become reality, whatever that means, reality. But I don't know yet how to talk, avoiding that word. But any dream, it can come reality, as in your life, in anyone else's life, as a lived physical bodily experience, as an emotional experience, if it's like a fantasy thing, I want to turn into a rabbit, it can be turned into a movie where we can experience it. It can be turned into a game where we can experience it. Our dreams are powerful, and dreams, oh yeah, me forgets to turn this off. Dreams, our dreams, daydreams, are always what we choose, what we want. We can choose our dreams. The dream in this wave spell, the dream for the human is crystal, crystalline, crystal tone, dedicate, universalize cooperation. You know, I mean, the universe doesn't judge. I'm just thinking, what if a lot of people are dreaming like I want to kill a lot of people? That's my dream. That's my fantasy. So then they dream it. And if enough dream it, well, then we live it. Or they do in some incarnation. Hmm? Ah, I always know the easy way out. But like, or we create, put it in a game where we can live it, we live those aspects immersed in a virtual reality. And there is no knowing that we aren't actually right now, this biological, biophysical experience, that isn't itself either virtual or a lot of it is virtual. Do we understand our mind? Is our mind taking us into virtual dream reality, or is that mental dream reality? Mental, not only mental, but otherwise, limiting words. The real reality, and the third dimension is that which we make manifest. To step out of the paradigm of this being this being base reality. There's a car, I don't know if you heard it, a car just drove past. There's a crossroad here, so they have to stop. Blasting music. And I'm just imagining how that person in the car or the people in the car feel so alive. Feeling that music and the sun and the spring's early, gentle but strong warmth. A gorgeous feeling, can just imagine. And we want to share it with all the world. Lower all the windows and blast your music out. Shower your love onto the world. Blue storm, white wind, in the occult. Red moon on tone 6, rhythmic. So that wave spell yesterday was 7. So we meet all of the wave spells yesterday that run through that run parallel with this wave spell. All of them meet in the same tone and resonate, like that's really the meeting point. Resonant 7. And today the upper ones go along the tonal scale in the same direction, maybe up, well, either way, towards 13, while the below, the occult, what we don't see, travels towards 1. It travels towards the magnet. So how is the moon? Oh, happiness. I am happy. I feel happiness because once again, here, I don't know how it worked out in the last. I mean, it must have. I have spoken about this before. So this is reminding me of last wave spell, where really, in the last wave spell of the storm, I started like investigating. Hey, wait a minute! The analog wave does this thing, and then I wasn't yet. Even one wave spell ago, I wasn't proficient in reading the occult wave. I won't say I'm proficient in reading the occult wave, but I've got it, like, I've got my eye on it. Jacqueline, I got it. Like, I get it. I'm getting it. I am in the process of getting it. And that's terribly satisfying. So I remember last time looking at the moon and the storm, the moon and the wind meeting in the storm, and incidentally the sun. But hey, here, these two, they also meet in the human, and they meet. Where else do they meet? In the earth is only the wind. All right. Well, they meet in the human, and the moon. They meet the moon and the storm, and there's the human, and then there's the dog. Okay, and so we're having this moon and wind, that is, they are fixed kins in the human, but in switched positions, exactly as they are here, but switched. So here today the moon is antipod, furthest away, the wind is occult. In the human, the wind is antipod and the moon is occult. As an aside, if we meet the human in any other wave spell on another tone but the magnet, the occult wave underneath it will not be the earth wave. It would be whatever other wave. Which is fascinating. We'll get there when we get there. Another human will meet. I'm placing a little shout out to the future, causing we have the red earth evolve, navigate, synchronicity under this human. So I'm using the occult wave to place an intention into the future, since the occult is moving towards, perhaps, when I think of it, it moves toward the future. It moves toward the magnet. It moves toward the beginning of itself. And I'm placing a reminder into the future that latest when we get to the human, the next human, which will be in the next wave spell, and we're ending in the seed, that's the serpent wave spell. I could go there right now, but I'm not going to. Then we have the human on 8. Interesting. Like today, since it is 8 on 8, lets us meet the previous wave spell seal, which means the occult, the moon, will be on tone 6. From wind, yeah, and then whatever, tone 6. Well, what wave spell would that be? Moon on 6 would be, now I am going there, I'm sorry. Moon on 6, star on 5. It's a wave spell of the yellow seed. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's the wave spell of the yellow seed, which is still ahead. On the other side, which is that other wave spell with a 10. Serpent and seed have the 10 portal days. So, interestingly, oh man, so we're now in this human influencing wisdom, free will, and our navigational wave is running from the future to the past, or from the past to the future. It's running away from us toward the future, or it's coming toward us from the future. And if it's not the future, if it's the eternal now, it's anyway coming toward us from the magnet, or we are moving toward the magnet. To think of it in terms of time can be done. As my third dimensional self, I'm presently very comfortable thinking of it in terms of time. So I'm going to stick with that. But I make a caveat here, something, it doesn't have to be time. It could be space. It could be anything else. And maybe that distinction is really worth investigating deeper. I'm not going to do that now, though. But so we're in this navigation synchronicity, evolving synchronicities. As you know, we all know what synchronicities are, and we know how we love them. Our intuition, Blue Night guide today, our intuition out of this darkness of abundance of dreamtime, darkness, whatever that is, yeah, night, versus consciousness, the unconscious, which also, is not excluding the conscious, but it's the intuition brings about the synchronicity. It moves us about elegantly. We couldn't do this like with our third dimensional conscious mind, I'm beginning to myself realize. The self-realization is so important. We can study anything and be told, yeah, your mind is an observer or this or this or that, until you actually self-realize, realize yourself, self-realize yourself. That's just information, lived information. So if my mind is the observer, an aspect of it, not the observer, maybe an aspect of, I'm observing my own reality, but my reality is much, much, much bigger than what I can consciously observe. Okay, wait, where am I going? I wanted to speak about the seed wave spell beneath the serpent wave spell in the occult. The seed wave spell ending in the warrior. It's the seed, our focus, our seed potential, who we're going to become. Yellow human would ask, do I get a choice? Do I decide? Do I get to decide? Do I have to decide? Or do I just get to flow, red moon, or cult of the yellow human, and somewhere in the serpent, second red seal, tone 5, the center of the serpent. Oh man, without flow, like there's just nothing. Kundalini energy, everything needs to flow. Life force needs to flow. Synchronicities flow. Red earth in the serpent wave spell, absolutely crystalline. A cosmic. Oh, this is too delicious for me. I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. I'm not going further. Can we stay here today? We have the yellow sun here, consciousness. What is the sun? My own sign. Universe of fire, illuminate life. You know what? I forget because I love rediscovering it. Not draw out like, this is what I've learned, this is what I remember, here I'm giving it to you. It's like I blank out and like, what does it mean? This jumps at me. I like that. I prefer that process. It's so much fun. I harmonize. This is the galactic sun. And my first thought was like, I have to see which wave spell the galactic sun is in. But of course, it's the wave spell of the Skywalker. But this galactic sun is not in the wave spell of the Skywalker because it's the analog wave spell. And the analog wave spell, this galactic sun, comes out of the analog wave spell of the blue hand, which goes backwards, counterclockwise. No, clockwise. We're moving around the Tzolk'in wheel clockwise. I suppose one could move around it any which way, but most of the models I've seen take us counterclockwise. And the analog wave goes clockwise. And it's not important whether they can be looked at the other way around. It goes in the other direction. That's all it means. So the blue hand, if in the analog wave spell of the blue hand the sun is galactic, that means in this, yeah, of course, in the storm, the wave spell before that, the sun wave spell was analog. So the galactic tone always still reminds us of whoever came before. And the moon, but the galactic moon here, yeah, was the last analog wave spell. Antipodal wave spell. The flow, so important to the storm. Everything, the earth, everything is about flow. Nothing is static, everything is in constant motion. Nothing stands still anywhere. It just may appear to our perception or to any time-limited perception like a rock doesn't move. Of course it moves. Of course it moves. It moves within itself. It changes shape. It moves across the earth. It's just we cannot perceive it. and we have no way to stick a camera and look at it for long enough to say, oh yeah, 3 billion years, it did move 3 centimeters, look at that. Yeah. And we are constantly moving, we're constantly changing, fluidly. How fluid and flexible can we be? Yellow human, occult, red crystalline moon, earth wave spell in the occult. Our navigation, our evolution, our flow, our fluidity, our ability to change, not rigidity. There is good use for lesser and greater fluidity. A bone is less fluid than blood or skin, you know. Oy. Excuse me. Oy. Music moves. Oh, Tatiana, please. Excuse me. If I could keep on going, I'll edit this out. Music is fluid. Notes, sound moves, sound waves. If I look at myself like a sound wave, excuse, delicious. I'm a human wave. I'm a yellow human wave. I'm a yellow sun wave. I am waving through time. I'm weaving. I'm weaving and waving. Oh, Tatiana, do you have to? Okay, I do. Where's my microphone? Here. No. Hello? Lol. Okay. Yeah. Fluidity. Oh, the storm. Our body. I'm reminded of what is it? Kaito storms. There are these storms inside. There is the separation of A and B. I could take this into biology, into biorhythm stuff. It's all everywhere. These fractals are everywhere. So amazing. I'm so amazed. All the many layers we have as a human to perceive life, to explore life. If you look at the glyph of the yellow storm, yeah, there is this black little dot at the bottom left corner, and then there's a black dot up in the clouds. There's so many ways to interpret all of this. There's the physical self, the mental self, there's the perspective of water or molecules or human beings on the earth versus water or molecules or human beings up in the sky. A human up in the sky is, the mental perspective, the eagle's perspective. And then how we can separate, we can take our mind or our soul out of our bodies. I don't know about soul, that's a term tricky to use, but we can take some aspect of ourselves out of our bodies without dying, killing the body. We can return, we can journey out, we can journey into the past, we can journey into other realms. And we can use our imagination to go anywhere. We can dream ourselves out of our bodies into anywhere else. So fascinating and so healthy and healing. Who tells us about dreaming as medicine? Sleep is medicine, that we know. Why is that? Because it leaves the body alone. It shuts the fucking mind up. Excuse my French. It's like it stops us interfering. It stops us busy being around when the body needs rest to recalibrate, reshuffle stuff inside. It needs the resources and not have to use the resources that it has for motion or thought. And it may need to go into dream to test out all the different options that it currently has. So it collapses optimally onto the one that it will become when it's healthy. I say this often also, like after a good old cold, like a good one, like the kind that puts you to bed, not like a running nose that keeps you running. A good cold, maybe with a fever, we're like wretched in bed for a week or something. My experience afterwards, I feel so cleansed and so good and so energized, like better than before. That's the blue storm, in my opinion. It cleans our consciousness. It cleans our, if that can be done, whatever I'm, trying it out for size. It cleans, the sun burns, the fever burns the toxins away. It burns the old software. Consciousness upgrades the body. The updates or upgrades are running. Mostly they run in the background. If you're not sick today, they're running in the background. Tomorrow they may run in the foreground, and then with the new software, with the upgraded consciousness on the red dragon, they're going into the new. Today is a bit of the old, tomorrow is the bridge, and then there's the new. I'm talking out of my arse, don't listen to me, but it's just fun. And what tones do we have in the yellow human wave spell with that sun? It's funny. Oh my goodness, it is indeed funny. I mean, this goes for. I have an image of two hands rubbing past each other, like, it's not clapping. You put your hands together, the fingers at the root on one hand, on the root of the other hand, and then you slide just once up and down the hands, like you're wiping just once, like you're sliding your hands across one another, one up, one down, one away from you, one towards you. These are the three suns here, right now. Analog sun on the storm, tomorrow the sun main kin, and day after occult to the dragon. They are paralleled in the analog wave, where yes, are they though? I'm talking crap. There's only one sun, but that can't be. Wait. What am I saying? Ah, Nix. Well, in a way, yeah, because yesterday, okay, it is in a way, yeah, but it makes no sense because it's taken it too far, and then I would have to take it on why is the sun so special? It's just special to me because I'm a sun. This is my little bit of trying to understand myself here, but I can do that. I don't have to do that on your account or on your time. So, but this consciousness, the sun is nonetheless universal fire, illuminate life. Since this is this Tzolk'in, this dream spell, it's about human evolution and the evolution of consciousness. And the galactic sun or the galactic storm or any galactic tone surely always reminds us, model, harmonize, integrity, galactic. Can we look at the galaxy? We can copy, we can learn, we can harmonize ourselves with the galaxy. When we do that, it brings in a different, what does it bring into us? What upgrade will the sun give us? The sun is the source of life, But so is water. It's also a source of life. Water from within the earth. Water, well, these entities, if water is a multidimensional entity, light is a multidimensional, not entity. Water is not an entity, Tatiana. Well, being, being. A spirit. A spirit is usually not third dimensionally visible. Everything is spirit. If you want to give spirit a body, everything is spirit. Every materialized object is the materialization of spirit. Every atom, as soon as anything non-physical becomes physical. But am I wrong there? What if it isn't all spirit? What do you call spirit? Is there anything that isn't spirit but that exists? Is it relevant? I'm being human. What is relevant to my humanity? How much of what is relevant to my humanity? White wind is very relevant to my humanity. Furthest away, there's a lot more to white wind than what's relevant to my humanity. I get that. And sun. The sun pulls up the water of the earth, the heat in the upper atmosphere makes the water from the earth evaporate upward, forming clouds. And then there's this separation of positive and negative ions, both between the earth's surface and the sun's. There's cloud's belly, and within the cloud belly and the cloud roof. And this is really a polarization process, so the storm, but it's necessary. It creates electricity, this kind of friction. Splitting the atom is maybe extreme, but taking some water up into the sky is not so extreme. Separating positive and negative ions or electrons or whatever they are, excuse me for not being more informed, it seems a very natural thing. Nuclear fusion, putting things together, seems to be also a very natural thing happening inside the sun. Who is the sun? Can we talk to the sun? Can we communicate with the sun? Of course we can. Can we use our white wind ears and listen? Can we hear? Sometimes we listen but we can't hear. And sometimes we assume because we can't hear, there's nothing to hear. We're listening, we can't hear, so there's nothing to hear. And I find that so incredible of us humans, that how often we do that. Not realizing, dude, if we've got the smallest fucking range of audio, even like not just physically audio, but also spiritual audio, we just limited in range. Or maybe you are, for the moment. Your range is too limited to hear what you can't hear, but why assume that what you're not hearing therefore doesn't exist, or what you're not seeing therefore doesn't exist? Wow, where are we coming from with that? Does it make us feel so insecure to allow for all kinds of things to exist that we cannot perceive? Is it so difficult to just say, well, maybe it exists, but I have no perception of it? And if you do tell me about it, I'll listen to you. I can't verify. Yeah, this is this kind of like the scientific, rational mind that says if I can't verify it, I can't peer review your experience, therefore what? Never mind. So as far as I am concerned, sometimes I can't peer fucking review my own experience, and then, or who needs to, if I'm the only one having the experience, and I sometimes need, like, I do sometimes need someone to validate my experience, because I grew up in a world that says certain experiences, you're cuckoo, you're off your rocker. if you think you're seeing things that nobody else sees. And I don't, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. Sometimes I wish I would. I've been waiting to meet a ghost. Whatever. Seeing unseen things, auras, not just ghosts, I'm joking, but like things that are not, maybe other people can't so easily see. I don't see them. But like if I did, and then if one does, and nobody, and on top of that, you get told if you see them, you belong into a asylum or something, the way they used to address this stuff. But also in terms of our psychology, we experience things that are hurtful, and others are like, ugh, don't be so sensitive, don't be a sissy, don't be a mimosa, don't be like this, don't be like that, or why are you this, or why are you that, nobody else is, or I'm not. And it's like, oh damn, but I am, and I don't want to be shamed for my sensitivity. I also don't want to be shamed for maybe misunderstanding something that I assume you mean like that, because when I hear your tone of voice, it triggers X in me, but you don't mean to trigger that. And now it happens in my life sometimes, like, okay, wait, you don't want to change your tone of voice because it's just your natural tone of voice, but I'm triggered by that tone of voice. It just triggers me. And what's the answer? The answer is, I speak about it. Oh, in the moment it happens, oof, that tone of voice is triggering me. And then what happens to me? Maybe I want to speak about that. And then maybe it brings us a little bit closer. You can affirm to the parts of me that aren't triggered, or the adult. I'm not meaning to trigger you. I'm talking as myself. Or just to take a moment like, okay, wait, you're being triggered. That means the child activates. Some trauma activates. Maybe not the child, but something that got that got stuck, so to speak, before some trauma happens. When that gets activated, you check out, something happens to you. What happens to you? Maybe for a moment we can have the time together and take the time what happens inside of me, so that I can learn to become self-aware, because triggers trigger us into unconscious behavior. We're rarely triggered and remain conscious. Then we're not actually really triggered, or we're on our way to not being triggered anymore. Then it's just a memory of a trigger. Or anyway, maybe, I don't know if that's true, but we're maybe healing when we can actually be like, oh, this is triggering me, this is my response. We can stay present with the response. At least that's my experience. Some part of me still gets triggered and runs the triggered response. But another part of me, call her grown-up Tot, stays present and watches. We had such a situation yesterday. And then my boyfriend says, yeah, but I feel you're triggered or you're something. And I'm like, yeah, it was a very strange thing, because a part of me really wasn't, and a part of me clearly was, and the two, and then there's shame, and then there is, I'm neither really here nor really there, and I'm not really wanting to engage with the triggered one right now because I'm not really there. I just need some time to observe myself. Wait, but I wasn't free enough either. I wasn't untriggered enough to communicate that freely. And it's really kind of sort of fun for me anyway. I don't know if it is for him to walk this path of healing together. Sometimes I'm like, I mean, we lived a whole life before all this stuff entered the field. Does it have to be there now? Am I doing all of this healing work for the collective? Or is it just like, am I so bored in life that I'm dragging my closets out? I mean, my skeletons out the closet? Don't I have something else to do with my time? There are many ways to look at this. So many ways to look at this. But I know one thing. I always get bored with the process sooner or later, and then it's complete. Then I'm done with it. And my functioning, or my something in this world, is going to be affected by that. And as we speak, the storm and this human, I have, for me personally, the wave spells of the World Bridger, this death wave spell, creating new opportunity. followed by the storm wave spell, with everything that entailed, this auto-generation, catalyzing energy for transformation, catalyzing energy for dying, for new, building a new human, building myself new, releasing. The storm has the antipodal wave spell of the red moon. In the yellow human, the red moon is now occult, in the cosmic tone, transcending, because the wave, it belongs into the earth wave spell. Navigation, evolution, my own evolution. The storm catalyzed this energy for my evolution, and today's a good day to remember that. Harmonizing, modeling integrity, modeling my future self, and for that I had to, or have to periodically, I suppose, clean house. And where I don't, the stuff accumulates, and then becomes a big fat version of Tatjana that will be like, okay, you gotta die because you have no future. You're just the old stuff. You're the accumulated dirt. You're the old programming that hasn't been, you're the trash that hasn't been taken out on a daily. Ooh, that's the messy part in me. And not only that, but I don't know, yeah, I don't, like, this comes along with a real bit of shame. Like, oh, Tatjana, you didn't do your homework, you didn't do your cleaning properly. But whatever it is, there it is. And there's that version that's like, oh man, now all big. And like, okay, we gotta die this thing. We gotta kill this thing, this Tatjana. We gotta let this old software go now. And allow the new software to, that's been building in the process underneath. Either in a, we die when another body is ready or whatever. Yeah, I see my own process here fairly clearly. And under the human, this cosmic, the moon, it's so amazing. The moon ends in the dragon, the wave spell. So what in this flow, the wave spell of the flow, universal water purification, it takes us through all the way, exploring, skywalking, and then the earth, and then the dragon being birth nurturing beings. So how does my flow help me to give birth to myself? Even though, imagine birthing a baby without any fluids, it's just a sandpaper birth. Oh, thank you very much. Dry sex ain't fun either, except maybe for some, who knows, I don't know, but there's a point for lubrication. So there's this really important universal water and fluidity for all systems to work. And the storm has this wind, fire, and water that comes together in the storm, like today, in perfect harmony. Sometimes more of either one, but can we trust? In 2 days' time, dragon stands for primal trust. Trust the system, trust the integrity of the system. We don't have to do the minutia. We just have to say to the driver where we want to go, what we want to experience, how do we want to feel. And then, Abraham Hicks is all about that. All the creation realitors, what? Creation manifesting technique teachers, blah, blah. It is all the same. It's always that. You want it because you feel, you believe you've got to feel better in the having of it. So feel better already. Red moon. And then all the components will assemble to give you the experience you want, or something better. So now this cosmic moon, what transcend endurance, presence in the now. What remains with us, present, the flow in the human, fluidity, the cleansing, the body, all its fluid systems, cleansing the brain. The brain is what, 60% water or some other liquid? Is this all very theoretical? How do we be in our own flow? How do we know we're not flowing? How do we know there's too much fire? How do we know there's too much wind? How do we know things are not working? And how do we know what they are? There are certain probably Chinese medicine or Ayurveda or whichever medicine systems, they can tell us, too much kapha, too much pitta, too much this, too much that, too much fire, too much wind, too little this, too little that. So there's that. And otherwise, your body knows. The innate knows. What is the most elegant way to perfect health? Just be it. Abraham Hicks always says, how do you deal with doubt before it arises? The answer is before it arises. That's when you deal with doubt. So the birth dragon, red dragon mama, is the first seal. The dragon wave spell is the first. So you gotta first establish trust in what? Without that trust, you can't trust your own mind. You should not. You can't. That is not equipped to run life. That is not equipped to. That's just not. It can. Stack a fridge or something. I don't know what the mind is good for. It's good for some shit, but when it comes to really health and like successful living, it's a small, it's whatever it is. It's a tool for something. It's good for something. I'm not wanting to belittle the mind, but, um, there's something else. And without trust in whatever, fill in the blank for yourself. God, the divine, yourself, your biology, your past, your future. How about trusting the future? Whatever that means, but that seems like a beautiful. I trust my future I trust my future, that in the future, and the future starts now, of course. So it's not that far away. But I trust it to see to it that I'm really in a good place, that I feel well, that I have all I need, that I have experiences I really enjoy every day, that I have wonderful people around me, that I enjoy my life, that I have everything I need to enjoy my life, that I have enough challenge to keep me interested, that I have all the wherewithal and all the everything to meet my challenges, to have enough newness, enough oldness, enough stability, enough reference points to what I already know, balanced with ability to allow newness, fluidity. Fluidity. My human, for me, consciousness, yellow sun, cosmic human, what remains in the future? And underneath the sun, cosmic dragon, wave spell of the red moon, of course. There we go again. Isn't this beautiful? So I'm going to leave us there. Something in me feels unsatisfied. I feel unsatisfied. I feel this isn't rounding properly. I feel I've meandered. Am I content with my own meandering? Yes. So where does this satisfaction come from? A thought that says, what if someone else out there is thinking this is crap, this is not, they're just dissatisfied. Maybe I'm tuning into someone dissatisfied. Maybe I'm just projecting dissatisfaction. Maybe I'm afraid of dissatisfaction from the outside. Okay, I acknowledge. Part of the programming that wants to concern itself, that believes in the necessity to please others. It's very necessary for my survival. It's a big challenge in this thing. Part of the human in me. I realize I haven't really set a healing issue in this wave spell. Well, maybe I've just relaxed a little bit. I've enjoyed the sun for 8 days, because since the onset of the yellow human wave spell, this heavy timeline splitting that I was going through from, I guess, starting in I don't know if it started in the Skywalk already, but in the World Bridger and in the Storm, it seems to be over, or I'm really on an island of respite, and I've just been so enjoying the respite. I've been just basking in the sun. So, solar sun tomorrow. Yeah, well, it radiates throughout this whole bloody wave spell for me like nobody's business. It's like, just give me more. It's beautiful. Oh, yeah, this is just pure love. Oh, I feel so much love. I'm thinking, yeah, we're coming for the night. Yeah, my unconscious. I have only love in my unconscious. And I should show so much love, 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 love. And the parts of me that were had to split off, that have no future, are the ones that don't foresee a future for themselves. And they're not loving the future that they're not seeing. They're stuck in patterns of looking at the past and being protecting themselves from any onslaught of anything. There's no there's no scope. There's no capacity to dream, there's capacity to enjoy the moment for those parts, but there's no future. She did not build a future, and she's dying. She yeah, that's all right as it is. That's as it should be. I continue here, and I have definitely ideas for my evolution as a human. I definitely do. And I definitely am seeing time and again the old programs saying, but what if you're wrong? I'm like, you belong over there, go die. It's great. It's like there's a cemetery over there. I mean, seriously, a week ago or a little more, before the human wave spell started, I felt like an elephant. I often feel like an elephant. I love elephants. I felt like an elephant that's like, where is my death valley? I need my death valley. I lose my orientation if I can't find my valley. I need to go and die. And they know, isn't it the elephants that go to that place where they know they're ready to die? That becomes the final destination. They're done with their body. They're not done with their life. They're just done with their body. And they're taking their body to the place where all of them are done with their bodies. They go to the ancestral burial place. It's beautiful. It's utterly beautiful. And I want to do the same, and I know I'm going to do it. Oh, God, I'm excited about that. So, damn. Anyway, so now this version here has a vision for the future. And so back to this unsatisfied. No, back to this, like, what is my healing intention to the human? One of them is this dance, this difficulty of, for me personally, people who are not aware of the needs of others, who are not aware of the inner lives of others, who can't read them, who can't, for whatever reason, who lack empathy, for whatever reason. And versus the opposite of that, where there's too much of that. I see in the absence, how destructive that can be, and how many, like this imbalance, too much or too little. Maybe this is the storm, maybe too much water, too much fire, too much air, too much something, or too little of something. This imbalance, and in me, how does it manifest? How do I manifest that imbalance, and what does it do to me? And I was breastfed on, you have to, you have to be, what are other people supposed to say? Not like, I mean, the opposite is that just do what you want, never mind anyone else. Like, you don't have to concern yourself one bit with the reaction, how anyone else reacts to what you do, or what consequences your actions, or whatever you want, or whatever's going on with you, has on anyone else. That's the other extreme, kind of sort of narcissistic. And the other seems, I think, and the other is too much, totally outside of yourself. There's a balance, and I want to get that balance, because I'm on the side of too much minding. There is a way to, the balance says, I know what I need, I feel my center, I know what I want, I know what I need. They may be the same, they may not be the same. And I know what's possible. I can articulate myself, I know how to communicate, and I can be aware of my environment, and also, where needed, encourage my environment to communicate. I think generally as humans, at least in the Western civilized world here, whatever civilized, in the Western uncivilized world, we really, really, really are bad communicators when it comes to that. At least in my experience, at least in the field I live in. We often don't feel ourselves, and we often don't know what's going on, and we often don't know what we need, and we don't know where we're at. And then to communicate that appropriately through words where needed, difficult, very often impossible. We often act out because it will make its way, or if we can't act out, we force it, we stuff it down. All none of those are good. So that's my evolution. I want to learn that balance, that new balance, much better. And I have all the support networks around me. It's really, really nice because that's a pure intention that I have. And I have that intention for the collective field because I think it will stand us in good stead if we can be more aware of ourselves, at the same time being not unaware of our others, and able to negotiate, communicate verbally, non-verbally, and cooperate. The cooperative human, crystal human. What wave spell is the crystal human? Dragon. The very first wave spell. Birthing, nurturing, and being. That's the crystal human. Giving birth to itself, to its dreams, to its ambitions, to its anythings. It's being birthed, and it's nurtured, and it's nurturing, and it's being, and it can let be. And within that, the star on tone 8 in that wave spell is a reminder of galactic harmony. We can be galactically harmonious humans on this planet. Once we are galactic humans, we'll just be harmonious amongst ourselves, within ourselves, and amongst ourselves out there with each other. I look forward to that. All right. Now it feels a little rounder, a little more closed. Yeah, enough said. I wish us all a beautiful galactic storm day, guided by our intuition, catalyzing energy to auto-generate our own evolution, so that happens automatically in our own best interest. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, God, for knowing what we need and evolving us in our own best interest. That happens. That's automatic. That's a given. Anything where that doesn't happen is because yellow human, maybe ego, maybe fear, maybe whatever, this lovely mind of ours interferes. And it may. We have free will. So, is there a but? We're guided by abundance. We're guided by intuition. We're guided by our unconscious. Can we trust the unconscious? In 2 days' time, planetary? Oh, yes. Oh, boy. We're going through the solar sun tomorrow, and then we're planetary dragon in this wave spell. Planetary tone 10. Produce, manifest perfection. Produce, perfect manifestation. Manifest perfect production. Whatever. So, and on the seal of primal trust, mother, birth, being, nurturance, you know? So that's where this human and then this crystal human in the wave spell of that mother nurture dragon. You know, it's so beautiful. Isn't that so beautiful? The crystal human is the human who cooperates, universalizes, and dedicates. Dedication, universalizing, crystallization, whatever. I think it's beautiful. I think it's just beautiful. I love it. So that's where we're going. Nurturing ourselves in the blue storm, auto-generation, our own nurturance. So we don't have to think about it. It just happens. We just love. Who ran below the wave spell of, in the occult, the medicine is the wave spell of love under the storm. And now it's the wave spell of the moon, earth, navigation, Synchronicity. So love synchronizes us. Love heals the autogenerative catalyzing energy processes. Love heals us so that autogeneration can happen smoothly, so it all happens automatically. Synchronicities evolve our navigation systems. We become galactic. Life becomes easy, flowy, 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 glowy, 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 and smooth and beautiful. And every now and then, yeah, sure, that's for fun. It's and we get to do and we get to be in harmony with ourselves. Oh, like, yeah, I mean, becoming. We are becoming our becoming. We're constantly becoming our own becoming. We're being what we are and becoming what we are and becoming what we're becoming. I mean, I am what I am is not static. Yeah, everything exists, but the greatness of each and every point of consciousness, of observing, of awareness is the perspective of just an aspect of the whole. It's brilliant, it's beautiful. There's no need to observe the whole. There's no need for the wave to think, oh, but I am the ocean, I'm the ocean. No, man. Where's the beach? Oof. I just want to make love to the sand, like water, like, oh, give me that sand. Like, it's so different to me. Like what? I come again and again and again in waves. Yeah, of course, the ocean forms the waves and touches like fingers the beaches or the rock faces of, like a Scotland coastline, whatever. Or, I mean, how fantastic. The earth is so beautiful. How amazing there can be. The ocean can touch the desert in places like Egypt or Namibia or wherever, where you look at it, it's like there's ocean right next to like bone dry desert. Nothing of that land can use that salt water, and there's no filter system. It's very strange. You'd think the earth would filter out some of that water that comes onto the beach and then use it. Mm-mm. She doesn't. It doesn't. It's not meant to over there, and that's perfect. So that's like acceptance on a level where I'm not there. I'd like to be there. So I'd like to become, in my becoming, my intention, setting free will. I have free will, so I can set intention. I can say I want. I can say I would like. I could say it would please me if. And then I get to experience that. And sometimes it comes so late in time that by the time it comes, I'm like, oh my God, what is this? This is horrible. Because so many other things have in the meantime evolved and changed that the thing I wanted that time, which I'm now getting, no longer fits into the system. It's like, oh shit, where did I miss to upgrade my desires? And that's like when ego, when it's like I think, I want, small me. If I say like hands, not hands off the wheel, but like it's always going to be perfect. That's blue night. That's intuition. It's always going to just align so it all works. I don't need to insist on getting what I want because maybe in 5 minutes' time, other things inside of me have changed, or in 5 days, or in 5 years, things in me have changed so that the thing I'm now thinking I want is no longer going to be appropriate or desirable at all. So why am I going to hell bend myself on wanting that? Now this is nice theory. I'm thinking of at least one or two situations in my own life now where I'm like, can you please remember this, Tatiana? This sounds very logical. Can you apply that, please? So gotta take my own medicine. But I do that. It's fine. Living life. All right, here we go. 114. Fair enough. I want to wish us all a beautiful... Yeah, I'm starting again. Have a great day, just period. Have a great afternoon and evening or nighttime, wherever you're at. And thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your presence on the planet. I mean, God, that's appreciated. I know God loves you. We love you. We love each other. We love ourselves. We are love. We love celebrating this life. And when it's dark and difficult, we don't. And that's okay. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to love. We don't have to like it all here all the time. But, you know, when the cork floats back to the top and says, "Boop," oh my God, was I ever down? I don't remember. That's at least my experience. It's like, oh fuck, yeah, that was worth it. If this means this, I'm getting this. If anybody knows by being bipolar, it's not easy. Being bipolar, or whatever that diagnosis is, it's not easy because you swing from extremes. And if you can't handle it, then you got a problem. If you can handle it, you may not have a problem. I get to extremes sometimes where I'm like, I can't handle this. And then my life changes a little bit. I go a little, I don't swing as hard. And then there's more, not more balance, it's just another kind of balance. And every now and then, I guess, for whatever reason, it swings out hard again. And then I really enjoy the highs. They're extreme and wonderful, and they're really, really beautiful. And I'm like, okay, I want more of this, but without that. Like, okay, this is tuning me, and then I move myself relative to the high state like a seesaw. I change my center closer to that desired state, which will then become closer to normal and no longer be that extreme. And therewith I go around in circles, but that's fine. It's okay. Ah, ultimately, I'm going to shut up. Wee! Woo! Don't fall. Okay, have a great day. See you or hear you or not tomorrow. Aho.